Did you feel it? The air is heavier today, and it's not just your imagination. August 19th is not just another day on the calendar. It's a spiritual turning point, a moment when the atmosphere shifts and heaven begins moving what was hidden. Maybe you woke up restless, maybe you felt unusually tired, even after sleeping, or maybe something deep inside whispered, "Stay in, don't expose yourself, wait." This is not fear, this is protection. The chosen are being called into silence, into stillness, into preservation, because today marks the beginning of an energy shift that cannot be ignored. It will separate alignment from distraction, truth from illusion, awakening from sleep. And if you've been feeling that strange weight pressing on your spirit, it's confirmation. The change has already begun. Today carries a pressure you can't explain with logic. You may have woken up feeling heavier than usual, even if nothing is wrong. Maybe your body feels tired, your emotions closer to the surface, or your mind restless without a clear reason. It's as if something in the air has shifted, pressing on you in a way you can't ignore. This is not random. August 19th has been marked spiritually as a day of transition. It is not just another square on the calendar, it is a pivot point, a moment where heaven releases an energetic filter that begins separating the awakened from the unaware. And if you are one of the chosen, you already feel it. The invisible weight of this day is not emotional weakness. It's spiritual alignment. It's the atmosphere responding to a shift that began in the unseen before manifesting in the seen. The portals of August didn't just open doors of possibility, they also opened gates of discernment. And now, anything not aligned with your path will start to feel heavy, unnatural, even suffocating. That's why you may notice unusual patterns today. Small conversations feel draining. Environments feel charged with agitation. People around you may seem irritated, impatient, or unsettled without knowing why. The collective is reacting to what heaven has released, even if they don't have words for it. But for you, the chosen, the weight is sharper, because you are designed to feel before others see. You sense the shift first. Your spirit is tuned to pick up frequencies before the world names them. That's why you can't shake the restlessness. That's why you can't force yourself to treat today like just another day. And here's the truth. This invisible heaviness is not sent to crush you. It's sent to realign you. Heaven uses pressure to slow you down, to stop you from rushing into movements that aren't ready yet. Because today, if you force too much, if you push against what your spirit is warning you about, you risk stepping into spaces that weren't prepared for you. That's why many of the chosen will feel the inner call to stay inside, to withdraw, to remain in silence. This is not weakness, it's obedience. It's heaven telling you, guard your light, preserve your energy, hold your ground. Think about it. How many times have you ignored that inner nudge to pause only to regret it later? How many times have you stepped into places that felt wrong and returned more drained than before? Today, heaven doesn't want you to repeat those mistakes. This day is not about proving your strength in the external world. It's about preserving your strength for what's coming next. The invisible weight is not an accident. It's a signal. It is heaven reminding you that you are in the middle of a major shift, and that shifts always begin with a pull inward. Before anything manifests outside of you, the inner alignment must come first. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable. Yes, it may feel isolating. Yes, it may even feel like loss. But spiritually, this weight is proof that you are being moved into position. If relationships suddenly feel distant today, don't panic. If plans freeze, don't push. If your body tells you to slow down, don't resist. These are not signs of failure. They are signs of alignment. The 19th of August is a checkpoint. It's the moment where heaven asks, will you honor the pull of the Spirit, even when your logic doesn't understand it? Will you protect your energy, even when the world pressures you to keep going as usual? Will you trust the weight, even when it feels strange? Because this invisible heaviness is not here to block you. It's here to preserve you. It's here to filter out what doesn't belong. It's here to remind you that the chosen are always guided first by what is felt within, not what is seen outside. So if today feels different, it's because it is. Don't run from it. Don't deny it. Lean into it. The weight you feel is not the end. It's the sign that a new beginning is pressing in. What this energy shift really means. The energy shift that began on August 19th is not just an idea. It is real, tangible, and already influencing the way you think, feel, and move through the world. And if you are sensitive, you've already noticed it. What heaven has released now is a redirection of frequencies. That means that things, people, habits, and even desires that once made sense will suddenly feel heavy, irrelevant, or out of place. Not because you are unstable, but because your spirit is being tuned to a higher vibration. Your soul cannot resonate with what belongs to the old cycle anymore. Maybe you've already felt it. Something that was a priority yesterday now feels meaningless today. A relationship you kept holding on to suddenly feels empty. A plan you thought was secure breaks down with no explanation. None of this is random. It is the result of the shift. This energy is separating alignment from distraction. And that process rarely feels smooth. It often feels like collapse. It feels like loss. But spiritually, it's liberation, because the shift strips away what was never truly yours so that the authentic can finally take its place. Have you noticed how your sensitivity has increased? The way small things feel louder, heavier, more exaggerated than before? It's because your soul is detecting the clash between old frequencies that are dying and new ones that are being born. That tension is uncomfortable, but it's also confirmation. You are awake to what others are still blind to. And here's what this really means. Heaven will no longer allow you to keep walking in cycles that aren't yours. If you try, you'll feel resistance, delays, blocks, breakdowns. Not as punishment, but as redirection, because the new cannot fit inside the structures of the old. Look closely at what has been happening around you. Are your plans being interrupted? Are certain people pulling away? Are desires shifting unexpectedly? That's not chaos. That's calibration. It is heaven making sure that what comes next will not be built on shaky ground. This energy shift is heaven's way of answering prayers you may have forgotten you prayed. How many times did you ask for clarity? For the wrong people to be removed? For distractions to be stripped away? Now it is happening. And though it may sting, it is proof that you are being heard. Think of it like tuning an instrument. The string must be stretched, tightened, sometimes even loosened again before it reaches the right pitch. That process feels tense, but it's the only way to make music. And that's exactly what's happening in your soul right now. So instead of resisting, honor what's leaving. Don't chase the doors that are closing. Don't cling to what no longer resonates. Trust that if it's dissolving, it wasn't meant to go with you into what's next. This shift also means your body will speak louder than ever. Pay attention to the signals. Exhaustion, sudden waves of peace, feelings of heaviness or lightness when you think of certain people or choices. These are not just moods, they are instructions. Heaven is speaking through your own vessel, telling you where to step and where not to. The truth is, August 19th is not just a day. It is a marker. It is heaven declaring, you cannot go back to who you were. You cannot pretend not to know. You cannot live in the old frequency anymore. That's what this energy shift means. It means the end of autopilot, the end of cycles of survival, the end of pretending that heaviness is normal, and the beginning of living fully awake, fully aligned, fully aware. So if you feel unsettled today, if you feel like everything around you is shaking, take it as confirmation. It doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're exactly where you need to be. Because only those who are chosen feel the tremors of change before the new world is revealed. Have you felt that urge today? That pull to stay inside, to be still, to not engage with the world the way you normally do? It may seem strange, almost like isolation, but it isn't fear. It's wisdom. It's the call of heaven to withdraw. August 19th carries a frequency so intense that only those who listen to this inner pull will move through it without exhaustion. And withdrawal is the key. It's not just about staying home physically. It's about withdrawing your energy, your focus, your emotions from what drains you. It's about keeping yourself out of spaces where your light would be scattered, misused, or consumed by noise. Look closely at what's happening around you today. Conversations feel heavier. Crowds feel chaotic. Even small tasks may feel like they take too much out of you. This is because your field is more sensitive than usual. Heaven has opened your spiritual radar wider, and when that happens, you pick up every vibration in the atmosphere. That's why the call to withdraw is so important. It's not about isolation. It's about protection. It's about letting the spirit preserve what's being birthed inside you. Because make no mistake, something is being birthed today. And like a seed under the soil, it cannot be exposed too soon. It needs covering. It needs stillness. It needs silence. Think of the times when you ignored this nudge before. Remember when you forced yourself into environments you already felt weren't safe, only to come back drained, heavy, or even confused. That's exactly what heaven wants to save you from now. The call to withdraw is an act of mercy. And it's not just about where you go physically. It's about where you let your mind wander. It's about where you let your emotions attach. It's about what voices you let into your spirit. Because on days like this, your inner world is a sacred space. And sacred spaces must be protected. Maybe you're asking, but how do I know if this is truly divine withdrawal or if I'm just running away? Here's the difference. Fear makes you restless. Withdrawal brings peace. Fear feels like a cage. Withdrawal feels like shelter. Fear paralyzes you. Withdrawal preserves you. The call of heaven is not pushing you away from life. It's drawing you into alignment with it. By staying quiet today, you're not missing out. You're being positioned. You're conserving strength for what's ahead. You're holding space for clarity to rise when the noise settles. And isn't that what your soul has been craving? a moment of real silence, a moment where you don't have to perform or explain, but simply rest in the presence of what heaven is doing. That's why you feel the pull so strongly now, because this moment of withdrawal is not emptiness. It's preparation. The truth is, what's being given to you today cannot be shared in crowded places. It cannot be debated, argued, or explained away. It can only be received in the stillness. That's why heaven is calling you inward. So if you feel the urge to stay quiet, honor it. If you feel like you don't want to answer calls, don't. If you feel like you need to step away from certain spaces, step away. You don't owe anyone an explanation, because your obedience today could be the very thing that protects the next chapter of your journey. Withdrawal is not running. It's wisdom. And if you can hear this call now, it means you're already being aligned with the protection of heaven. So, chosen one, don't fight the stillness. Embrace it, because this sacred pause is proof that something greater is already on its way. How to protect yourself in silence. When heaven calls you into silence, it is not just an absence of words. It is a shield, a sacred covering. And on a day like August 19th, silence becomes one of the strongest spiritual protections you have. But silence is not passive. It is active. It is a choice to guard your energy, your words, your emotions, and your agreements. Because what you say, what you release, what you engage with, all of it has power. And in this sensitive atmosphere, even one careless word can open doors that drain you. That's why silence matters now more than ever. It keeps you from scattering your light. It keeps you from revealing too soon what heaven is still shaping inside of you. It keeps you hidden in plain sight, untouchable by distractions and spiritual interference. Have you noticed how much more easily words seem to trigger you right now? How quickly your energy rises or falls depending on what conversations you allow? That's not weakness. That's sensitivity. And sensitivity is the proof that your spirit is wide open to what heaven is doing. But it also means you must be careful with what you allow in. Protecting yourself in silence means three things. First, it means guarding your mouth. You don't have to explain yourself today. You don't have to justify your decisions, your feelings, or your absence. The people who are meant to understand will simply know. And the ones who demand explanations aren't ready to carry the weight of what you're carrying. So don't waste your breath. Second, it means guarding your mind. Silence is not just about refusing to speak. It's also about refusing to entertain every thought that comes your way. Not every voice in your head belongs to you. Some are echoes of fear. Some are projections from others. Some are old patterns trying to survive. That's why you must practice discernment. Which thoughts bring peace and which only stir chaos. Keep the ones that align with truth and release the rest. Third, it means guarding your spirit. This is the deeper level. Protecting your spirit in silence is about aligning with the presence. It's about creating space for prayer, meditation, breath, and stillness. It's about letting yourself feel the shift instead of numbing it. Because when you allow yourself to sit in that silence long enough, the clarity will rise by itself. The enemy of silence is distraction. And on days like this, distraction will try harder than usual. Sudden arguments, unexpected invitations, old cycles trying to pull you back in. All of these are traps designed to scatter your focus. But if you remain in silence, if you remain guarded, None of these distractions can reach you. Think of silence as a spiritual cocoon. It may feel lonely, but it is where transformation happens. It is where the old dissolves and the new is formed. And just like a butterfly cannot be forced out of the cocoon too early, you cannot be rushed out of this moment. Your timing is being perfected in silence. Some of you feel guilty when you withdraw. You feel like you owe people constant access to your energy, constant explanations, constant presence. But you don't. You are not here to serve people's expectations. You are here to serve the alignment of heaven. And if heaven says, be silent, then silence is your obedience. Protecting yourself in silence may mean turning off your phone for the day. It may mean not responding to messages immediately. It may mean limiting your interactions to only what strengthens you. And it will almost certainly mean spending more time in prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection. And though it may seem small, these choices are powerful. Because every time you choose silence, you are saying, my energy is sacred. My spirit is not for sale. My alignment comes first. So don't underestimate this call. Don't dismiss it as just being tired or not in the mood. This is strategic. This is divine. This is heaven guarding you through silence. And the truth is, Vaut, when the noise around you fades, what you hear inside will change everything. Your discernment will sharpen. Your peace will deepen. And your spirit will recognize truths you've been waiting for. So let today be sacred. Let silence be your shield. Because in this silence, you are not empty. You are being filled. You are being preserved. You are being prepared for what comes next. There's a moment in your journey where the noise fades, not because the world became quieter, but because you stopped fighting yourself. Alignment is not a perfect schedule. It's not about having everything figured out or living without mistakes. Alignment is when your soul and your steps finally begin to speak the same language. And when it happens, the signs are undeniable. You start to notice the little things first. Conversations seem to appear at the exact time you need them. Numbers, symbols, or synchronicities begin to show up in places you would never expect. The right words find you. The right people cross your path, and even silence feels like guidance. Have you felt that? That strange sense that the universe has been talking to you more directly than ever before? One of the clearest signs you are in alignment is peace. Not the kind of peace that depends on circumstances, but the peace that exists even in the middle of storms. You still face challenges, you still get stretched, but deep down there's a steady awareness that everything is working with you, not against you, and it feels like the current beneath your feet has shifted. Where once you had to swim and fight, now you are being carried. Another sign is clarity. You no longer feel pulled in every direction, trying to force yourself into spaces that no longer fit. Instead, the things that drain you begin to naturally fall away. What is aligned feels effortless, not because it's easy, but because it feels true. There is energy behind it, support within it, and a pull that comes from your heart rather than your fears. Relationships reveal themselves too. When you're in alignment, you notice how certain people bring out your higher self, while others suddenly feel like they no longer belong in your field. It's not rejection, it's resonance. Your soul is choosing what matches the frequency it now carries, and without even trying, you find yourself attracting connections that mirror the growth you've walked through. Doesn't it feel different when someone gets you without explanation? That is alignment showing up in human form. Your body speaks as well. Energy flows differently. Sometimes you may feel lighter, as though a weight you've carried for years has finally lifted. Other times you feel more sensitive, as if your nervous system is tuned to a higher frequency. But the deeper truth is that your body is catching up with your spirit. The aches, the restlessness, even the strange bursts of energy are signals that something within you is moving closer to its natural rhythm. Another sign is trust. The constant need to control every outcome slowly dissolves. You find yourself breathing deeper, worrying less, and allowing life to show you its timing. It doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop grasping. Because somewhere within, you know that what is meant for you is already on its way. And the irony is that the less you chase, the more it arrives. And then there are the whispers, that inner voice that you used to doubt. It grows stronger, not as a shout, but as a calm knowing. You don't question every nudge or second guess every step. You simply move. And when you look back, you realize those small nudges led you exactly where you needed to be. It's the kind of guidance you can't explain logically, but your soul feels it as truth. So how do you know you're in alignment? It's not about perfection. It's not about constant bliss. It's about resonance. It's when your choices, your energy, and your awareness flow together instead of pulling you apart. It's when you stop betraying yourself just to keep old versions of life alive. It's when you wake up, and even without answers, you know you are exactly where you're meant to be. And maybe you're feeling that now. The timing of things shifting in your favor. The doors that used to stay shut, beginning to open. The inner strength that surprises even you. It's not random. It's not coincidence. It's alignment. And once you step into it, the universe can finally meet you halfway. The truth is, what you are walking into cannot be carried with old energy. That's why the last few days have felt strange, heavy, or even overwhelming. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Preparing for the days ahead doesn't mean you have to control every outcome. It means you begin to align your inner world so that when the outer world shifts, you remain anchored. And one of the most important things you can do right now is to slow down enough to hear yourself. Because the louder the world becomes, the more heaven speaks in whispers. There will be moments where you feel pulled to do more, to push harder, to fix everything all at once. But alignment doesn't require you to exhaust yourself. It requires you to listen, to trust that stillness is not laziness, that silence is not weakness, that rest is not avoidance. Sometimes, the most spiritual thing you can do is stop long enough for your spirit to catch up with your steps. The days ahead may bring sudden closures, relationships ending without a clear explanation, opportunities dissolving before they even began, plans you thought were secure shifting overnight. And when this happens, your mind will want to panic. It will want to ask, what did I do wrong? But your soul already knows it's not loss, it's alignment. You are being redirected before you waste more time on what cannot grow with you. One way to prepare is to stay rooted in daily practices that ground you. Not rituals for the sake of tradition, but simple choices that keep your heart open and your spirit clear. Breathing with intention, journaling your thoughts so they don't overwhelm you. Spending time in silence. Praying not just to speak, but to listen. These small acts keep you steady when the energy around you begins to accelerate. Another way to prepare is through discernment. Not every voice that reaches you will carry truth. Not every path that opens will be yours to walk. And not every connection that seeks you is meant to stay. As the shift continues, the illusion will fall away faster, and you will need to trust your body, your intuition, and your spirit to recognize what resonates with your path. Have you noticed how certain things no longer feel right, even if they once did? That's discernment, sharpening inside you. The days ahead will also test your ability to stay anchored when others around you are panicking. Many will not understand the shift. They will try to hold on tighter to what is fading. They may even project their fear onto you. But you, chosen one, are not called to mirror their fear. You are called to hold the frequency of faith, not blind optimism, but a quiet certainty that says, even if I don't see it yet, I know I am being guided. And maybe that's the final preparation. Trust. Not trust that everything will be easy. Not trust that you'll never face resistance. But trust that no matter what shakes, you are unshakable within. That no matter what ends, what is real will remain. That no matter how uncertain tomorrow looks, your steps are already known by the one who called you. So how do you prepare for the days ahead? By remembering that you are not preparing alone. The universe is preparing with you. Heaven is aligning with you. Your spirit is strengthening within you. And what is waiting on the other side of this shift is not smaller, not lesser. It is greater than you can yet imagine. So breathe, anchor yourself, protect your peace, listen more than you speak, move only when your soul says yes. And remember, preparation is not about fear. It's about readiness. It's about carrying the right energy into the right season, and you are stepping into that season now.